Hello again, ladies and gentlemen. Saka here, and I seem to be standing in a familiar place for the sci-fi fans around. You may recognize this as Mos Eisley Spaceport, the most wretched hive of scum and villainy. We are on Tatooine, as shown by the double suns, but this is sort of a tech demo, an Unreal Engine 4 look at Mos Eisley Spaceport, which is really cool. Running in the... That is so cool, I'm just watching the animation of the droid walking. But pretty cool stuff. Being Unreal Engine 4, dynamic lighting and shadows, everything looks great. And this is made by the guys of Obsidian Entertainment, which is known for their Fallout New Vegas game. So, of course, I downloaded it immediately, and it is free, as it's a fan project. But what exactly do you do? Well, you shoot a blaster. There is that. According to the keyboard shortcuts, we have an alternate weapon, which I'm pressing the H key and get nothing. And there is no E11, well, we're using the E11 blaster, so no use of pressing those buttons. But the main cool thing is our destination markers showing us where to go in this little spaceport, this confined space. So we have Docking Bay 87, the Credits Hall, Docking Bay 94, Docking Bay 91, and Mos Eisley Cantina. As far as geographically, here's Mos Eisley, so let's check out the cantina first. Now, one thing you'll notice if you haven't seen this before is there's no humanoid life forms here, just droids. But, you know, I forgive them for that because as a mod maker for Fallout and whatnot, I know it is much easier to animate, say, a droid than a humanoid figure. But here is Mos Eisley Cantina, complete with, I've got the death sentence in 12 systems. I'll be careful, you'll be dead. Anyway, here is the Biff band setup, which is pretty cool with their sort of tour poster. The cantina is actually, it looks like 2 bars, and you know, I was looking through Easter eggs last night, and I was looking for maybe like a blaster shot from where Han moved his head if Han did not shoot first. Well, there it is. Must admit that, missed that. So here's where Han Solo sat and dodged the shot from Greedo, which if he shot up there, no wonder Han was able to dodge. But pretty cool stuff, so little Easter eggs for the Star Wars fan to walk through and get fond memories of, you know, the environment and what was going on. Pretty cool. Waiting on you. The next place we will go is this docking bay over here, and oh wow, Sandcrawler! Can we make our way out to the Sandcrawler, please? The Great Mesa Plateau is not to be traveled less lightly. Best not to go this way. Yep, and there's the invisible wall. It definitely sets the tone for how big those Sandcrawlers are. Pretty cool stuff. Let's follow our green tour guide and see what awaits us. Now, you could go off the little beaten path. You could go, you know, almost wherever you choose within the confines of this sandbox and take a look around and see the sights, which I am looking forward to doing in VR. They say natively it's not supported. However, if you add this to Steam as a non-Steam game and use -VR, like, it will load up in VR mode, and having an Oculus Rift, I've got to do that. So let's go to the control room. Each one of these docking bays has a control room, which looks an awful lot like this, and we can see some displays and looking really 1970s futuristic, which is awesome. Doors you can't, oh, sort of clipping through there. Doors you can't hit E to interact as you can most first-person shooter games. But this docking bay, this particular docking bay is overlooking a TIE fighter and an Imperial shuttle. So let's head on down that way and take a gander at shuttle. I don't know if it's shuttle Tydirian, but, you know, we can pretend. We'll head down the stairs here and head to the, oh, there's also observation lounges. So when you head out this way, you have almost like a table and chairs that overlooks the docking bay, so you can really get a good look at these things from the front. And shuttles are immune to blasters, apparently. That's cool. All right, let's get to the ground level and see just how big this bad boy is. I'm sure if you can read that text, that might say something cool, but I'm not fluent in that writing, so I don't know what that says. And here's the shuttle, complete with the vapor effects from the landing, as we saw Darth Vader and the Emperor walk down. You can walk up the platform, but you cannot get inside from what I have seen. It'd be pretty cool to see an interior, but with the amount of detail that was given to the outside, I can see why they didn't focus on the inside, but just incredible use of the lighting and the effects, which Unreal Engine is pretty good at. So that is this particular docking bay. We have to make our way back to the central hub, following the arrows here, not the observation lounge. I got lost the first time I played this, I'm not going to lie. But this will lead us back to the main strip, where we can go to another docking bay. I want to save 94 for last, because that's where the Millennium Falcon sits. But let's go to docking bay 87. That sounds good. So this takes us back here, and once again you get the feel of walking through Mos Eisley Spaceport. That used, dirty, grimy future that Star Wars so nailed is prevalent and ready, definitely in this sort of tech demo. So we have an astromech droid here looking at us, got the red lens flare right there, pretty cool. Also we have our observation lounge right here, where we see two X-Wing fighters with R4 droid, and is that an R2? I think that's an R2 from what I see. Let's go down and take a look at how big they are compared to the Imperial shuttle. Little bit of frames. I got this on epic settings and pretty much pushing my computer fairly hard. Pretty cool stuff indeed. The observation lounge is just this way, with our table and chairs that we could admire these X-Wings from a different point of view. And then we'll go down to the lower level here. There we are. The lower level, we see the Rebel Alliance insignia there. Looks like Mos Eisley is kind to the Rebel Alliance. And here we are, ground floor, standing right next to an X-Wing fighter. Dear Mark Hamill, if you see this video, was this the size of it? Was this where your eye level was, down the photon torpedo tube? But pretty cool stuff indeed. Nice red lens flare effect there with an astromech droid fixing the engine. Oh, walked right into that one. But very cool indeed. I would like to see, like in the next version, because I mean it says there in the upper left hand corner version 1.0, I want to see like in the next version like full cockpits, so you can climb in it and take a look around perhaps. But I know coding for the Unreal Engine is a little bit difficult. I myself struggle with Unreal 4 as far as getting things done, but to game developers such as Obsidian, I'm sure they have no problems. So then we'll head off to docking bay 94. Hey R2! Sort of driving through the rocks here. And we'll make our right. R5D4. Was that the one that exploded outside the sandcrawler? R5D4? Maybe. Almost looks like the shield generators here that another R2 unit, well, a couple R2 units are working on. Pretty cool, the sounds and whatnot. It really sets the mood when you walk by and they do their whistles and beeps. I can't wait to put on my VR headset. What? Oh, I was going to say the Millennium Falcon left. But here it is, and on epic settings, we're struggling a little bit. Looking at the FPS, I'm getting 40 FPS looking at the Millennium Falcon, and then turning around to the wall, 50 to 60 once I get inside the command post. But yeah, very heavy, and that's where this project started. If you aren't familiar, the creators just wanted to make the most accurate model of the Millennium Falcon in Unreal Engine, and they took the Forrest Gump approach and said, well, we've come this far, why not go back? Or, why not keep going? Take a look at the observation lounge and looking at the Millennium Falcon from the front. It's got the lights there. You can see inside the cockpit. Yeah, the Nintendo Dish is still there, so this is definitely episode 4 or 5. Because in episode 6, they lost the thing. And then let's head to the lower level and get a good look right up next to the Millennium Falcon. Amazing. I mean, just the looking up at the cockpit and seeing like the control lights and just, oh, nostalgia rushing back. Looking into the front of it, too bad we didn't have sort of like a jetpack we could hover. But there's the front of the Millennium Falcon. Head over here to the escape pod side. Really starting to chug a bit with the epic graphic settings like epic textures, epic lighting, epic shading. I guess for VR I'll have to tone this down, but just looking at it static, not moving around too much, it looks incredible. Let's stand on the cockpit, take a look inside. You could almost see those levers. The inside cockpit textures could use some work, but the cockpit isn't what they were going for. They were going for this model here, and every freaking nook and cranny and hose and pipe, and looking up through here, and you could almost see Chewbacca working under there. Of course, the entrance ramp is closed off in this version, but how cool would it be to walk inside the Millennium Falcon, shooting the button, shooting the door, to no avail. So the Millennium Falcon is locked up tight. But we would be remiss if we didn't go see the creators of the game, of the experience here. And definitely when I go to VR, I'm going to turn down the graphics so I don't get any motion sickness or stutter. Recording with OBS and running everything on epic settings, it's taking a dive a bit, for sure. Once we get out of the loading zone for the Millennium Falcon and everything else, we should be okay, he says as it stutters once more. But this purple line is the Hall of the Creators, which is sort of an interesting look at who created this experience. And they've done some Photoshop work and put themselves right there in the classic Star Wars scene. So Jason Lewis, good on you, the project lead. Grand Moff Tarkin, the Emperor Palpatine, the project lead Terry Hess. The senior artist, yeah, Leia with a beard. And just really cool to see the creators of this thing from Obsidian Entertainment just taking time out of their own schedules, just saying, hey, you know what we could make? We could make something really cool here. But yes, I was so happy when I saw this. It is free. Just look around online, Docking Bay 94, and you will see it. Yeah, my poor video card. My poor video card. There we go. Welcome to Earth. So as you can see, if you've got a couple 980 Ti's and you've got them SLI'd together, you might be able to run this thing a whole lot better than I am on absolute max settings. But even, whoa, this thing is getting chugga. Come on now. It could be my recording software as well. But this is not an indicator of, what the performance is like for everyone. Certainly, I cranked it up to see what would happen. And obviously, bad things happen when I do that. But that is going to do it for me in this look, ladies and gentlemen. Once I get my Oculus Rift hooked up, I may make another video and sort of explain the scale, try to use my words and explain what it is I'm seeing and how big everything looks in virtual reality. But I'm definitely going to turn down the settings. But that's going to do it for me, ladies and gentlemen, for this episode. Like, share, and subscribe if you are so bold. And for Docking Bay 94, I will see you in the next video. Take care.